So about a week ago, I watched a video from somebody I'm subscribed to on YouTube. Channel name is Super Speeders, operated by a gentleman named Rob, and he does make some awesome content. He has a supercar business, and he does car projects and all that fun stuff. So it's a good channel, interesting channel. I like to watch his content. But he made a video that really got me thinking and has prompted this video. So the title of the video that he made was Why My $80,000 GMC Denali is Unnecessary and Silly. Which, that video in it of itself kind of contradicts his total business, right? Because he has a rental car business, supercar rental car business, and really, aren't supercars unnecessary and silly? I mean, granted, they're awesome, but they're unnecessary, right? So, this video really got me thinking. You know, ever since I bought my 2020 F-250, it's 6.7, it's the diesel, I've been ostracized by so many people. That truck's unnecessary, why do you drive that? You should have something more practical. And for the past week, I've been thinking about this, and I came up with a list of 12 reasons as to why you should drive a 3/4 ton or bigger diesel pickup truck as a daily driver, right? It seems like such a silly thing to make a video about, but I have some really good reasons, and I think you should stick around to listen to this video. So first things first, I would like to define what practical is. The definition of practical is likely to succeed or be effective in real circumstances. So for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna compare my truck, which suits my needs, to something that people would deem is somewhat more practical, right? So I'm gonna go with a Honda CR-V, right? It's kind of like an all-around family car, gets decent mileage. I think they're all-wheel drive, so we're going to compare my truck to a Honda CR-V. So first things first, I'm a very fair person, and I'd like to cite 4 reasons as to why having a big pickup truck is unpractical. First and foremost, obviously the fuel economy isn't going to be as great as a Honda CR-V. Honda CR-V MPG is about 29 MPG. Second, parking, especially in cities. It's a lot harder to park a pickup truck than a small compact car, and that's definitely a con. Con number 3 is maintenance. Bigger truck, parts are more expensive. It is what it is. You know, oil changes are probably double or triple what it costs to do the oil change in a car. So maintenance is definitely going to be more expensive in a pickup truck over a conventional car. And con number 4 is that when you have a pickup truck, people are always going to be asking you for help, whether they're friends you know about or friends you don't know about. Hey, I hear so-and-so has a truck. Maybe you can help us move. So it's good and bad, right? Because it allows you to build relationships with people that you don't necessarily have a good relationship with, but at the same time, sometimes you feel kind of used. So now let's get into the good stuff. What are the pros, specifically for me, of owning a 2020 F-250 6.7? We'll start with number 12, and we'll move down to what I feel is most important, which will be number 1. Pro number 12 is the truck looks fantastic, and it has a tremendous amount of power, especially the diesel here. 475 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken, 1,075 foot-pounds of torque. So I like to nickname this truck the rocket ship, because it really is like a rocket ship. Is the utilitarian aspect of this truck. Now, when you buy a car, right, like a Honda CR-V, how can you make money with that car? Well, you could become a taxi service, Uber Eats, you can deliver food. So really, you have a limited number of ways that you really can make money with that car. Of course, some people, of course, just use it for commuter purposes. But when you have a pickup truck, it's so much easier to make good money, especially if you're a blue-collar worker like I really am. So you can tow trailers, you can tow tremendous loads, especially as you go up in pickup truck size. This is a big one. You can add a snowplow to your truck. On my old 05 F-150, you go back through my channel, see some of my snow plowing videos. I added a Western HES plow to that truck. Cost me maybe $5 or $6 grand, and I plowed for a few years, and the money I made from plowing paid for that plow, and it paid for that truck about 3 times over of what I initially bought it for. So you can definitely find ways to make money with a pickup truck. And also, just in terms of the utilitarian feature, which we'll get into a few other comments later on in the video, you could also throw construction materials in the back of the truck, right? Contractors, it's a money-making truck if you want it to be. Pro number 10 is this truck in particular is a 4x4, right? So 4-wheel drive. This one has the locking diff, which I absolutely love. So you get into a hairy situation where a conventional two-wheel drive car would get stuck, turn on the four-wheel drive, pull that locking diff, and you'll get out of a lot of situations. Now, granted, a con, the diesel is really heavy. It's not great for off-roading, right? Like, gas truck definitely excels over the diesel in my opinion when it comes to off-roading. So that's another con, but just having the four-wheel drive and the locking diff is major pro. Pro number 9, big cab. And because I have the peasant version of the truck, I have the bench seat in the front, I can sit 6 people in this truck. As opposed to a Honda CR-V, it can only fit 5. So what's funny, when the family comes in from out of town, oftentimes we'll find that we take this truck because otherwise we would need to take 2 cars because the CR-V can only fit 5 people. So you have a big, spacious, comfy cab. Pro number 8 is the ground clearance. High ground clearance, can go over higher obstacles, just major pro. Pro number 7, cab is extremely quiet. Now, I borrowed my sister's CR-V to go pick up a piece of equipment about a week or 2 ago. I really wish I took a decibel meter inside while we were going down the highway just to see what the decibels were inside the CR-V cab. Let me tell you, compared to my truck, that CR-V sounded like it was 10 decibels louder. Well, maybe not 10, maybe at least 5 or 6. But it was definitely a lot louder inside the cab of that CR-V over my truck. So these modern diesels, I mean, especially Ford, I can't really speak for other manufacturers, but inside that cab, it's a lot quieter than what you would think. And it's really grown on me. Pro number 6 is gonna be similar to number 8, which number 8 was the ground clearance, right? So number 6 is that you're seated higher up than a conventional car. And there's many benefits to that. For one, when you're in heavy traffic, being higher up, you can see further down the road, you can see what's going on, and you can act sooner than what you would if you were sitting lower to the ground. Also, you're not as easily blinded by misaligned headlights, because going down the road, you oftentimes see people with their headlights misaligned, right? They're shooting too high. And if you're in a car that's sitting lower down to the ground, like a CR-V, you're going to be blinded more often. So sitting higher up, not blinded as much by headlights. And also, it's much easier to get in and out of this, especially with the step, compared to a car that sits lower to the ground. Now, a CR-V, I will say it's comfortable to get in and out. You know, you don't have to step up and step down, but I would much prefer to step up into something than to squat down and kind of sneak into something like a sports car. Pro number 5 is the range. Now, my truck, I think it has around a 35-gallon fuel tank, and with the fuel economy I'm getting, when I fill this truck up, the fuel range normally says around 650 miles. So that's a tremendous range. I only end up filling up this truck probably every 2 weeks. That's about what it is. Between commuting to work, doing whatever I want to do, going to the supermarket. For most normal commuting, I know you're probably going to bust my balls about that I'm not constantly towing with this truck, but it's not what this video is about. Just the range is phenomenal. Filling this up every 2 weeks, how can you go wrong? Pro number 4 is the truck is just tough. It's a Super Duty. And something specifically that I would like to cite is I have pretty thick tires. And where that really helps out is when I'm going down the road and I come upon a pothole, right? So by having all that tire right there and not like low profile tires on some conventional cars, I'm much less likely to damage a rim or blow out a tire. I've never blown out a tire hitting some pretty big potholes with all the trucks I've owned over the years. I'm not a big fan of the low profile tires on some fancy trucks. Just having a lot of rubber, in my opinion, really makes sense. Pro number 3 is this truck is basically a rolling toolbox. Now, I could understand where this could kind of be applied to other cars out there, right? Like you could throw everything in the back of a CR-V and, you know, it could be kind of a rolling toolbox too. But I really equipped this truck pretty well. I have tow straps, I have a tool kit, I have a plug kit, I have a 12-volt tire inflator, right? I keep jack equipment on the truck. There's a first aid kit. So under a lot of real-world circumstances, this truck again, it's like a rolling toolbox. And additionally, a lot of pickup truck guys out there, they throw their toolbox in the back of the truck. I've thought about doing that. I've heard a lot of bad things about condensation and moisture collecting in the back of the toolbox, so I'm a little bit unsure if I want to go that route, but just awesome to have everything you mostly could possibly need for an emergency equipped inside the truck. Pro number 2, now we're getting into the really good ones here. Cargo separation between your cargo and inside the cab. And I think that's just one of the things that really makes a truck a truck. You want to go fill up a 5-gallon can of gasoline. I mean, in a Honda CR-V, you'd have that inside the cab with you, and you'd be sniffing some of those vapors, because some of those vapors would be getting out. It'd stink like gas in the car for a week. As opposed to having a pickup truck, you're safe inside that cab from the cargo in the back. You have that separation between fuel, fertilizer, whatever kind of dangerous thing you want to throw on the back of your truck, you have separation. And pro number 1 is the crash protection. Now, I will say these pickup trucks really don't do great when it comes to rollovers. I think their crash protection ratings maybe like a 3 out of 5 stars for the most part. But one of the main reasons I decided to drive this truck daily as opposed to something that's low to the ground. I was a firefighter for over 10 years, and I saw some wicked accidents. And being higher up off the ground and having a heavier vehicle definitely makes me feel more protected. And I know I'm more protected, right? Like if I had a head-on collision with a smaller compact car. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather be in the cab of something like this than the smaller compact car. And also, in addition to the crash protection of the front of the truck, in the back of the truck, I always keep a drop trailer hitch installed in that trailer hitch. So if I ever get lightly rear-ended, it's very likely that there would be no damage done to my truck, and the car that rear-ends me because they were on their phone or texting or not paying attention, their front bumper would be crushed in. And I'm sure many of you out there have seen videos in which cars that rear-end trucks with hitches in the back suffer a tremendous amount of damage while the truck is relatively unscathed. Now, in conclusion, is it practical to daily drive a modern diesel pickup truck? Or just a daily pickup truck for that matter? Of course, you'll have to review your own circumstances, whether the pros make sense for you, how you feel about it, what your financial standings are. But in terms of practicality, which again, the definition of practical is likely to succeed or be effective in real circumstances, daily driving a modern diesel pickup truck is perhaps one of the most practical things you can drive. Well, I guess if you're a blue-collar guy like me, but that's it. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, so please chime in the comment section down below, and I will catch you on the next one.